What's up? I feel like I'm in that in between period of a cut where you start seeing the definition, the muscles are starting to pop, but then at the same time, I'm not at a low enough body fat percentage where I just feel like tired and hungry all the time. So it's that beautiful sweet spot of looking cut. You could look more cut, but also feeling like you have plenty of energy to kick ass in the gym. And overall, to a normal person, you look pretty fucking good. But we don't care about the opinions of normal people. We care about the opinions of myself. We, myself, ourselves, whatever. And that is who we seek to impress. Ultimately, I have come to the understanding and acceptance that, this whole pursuit of 5% is really just a pit stop, and that I should honestly look closer to how I am presented right now, as it feels healthier and much more sustainable over a long period of time. Whereas the 5%, Jesus. Well, for one, I haven't even succeeded at it, so there's that. And for two, ain't nobody trying to be 5% year round. It's just not a good idea. You're thinking about food all the time. You're hungry. You're tired. Your testosterone levels are low. Honestly, I don't even know what testosterone really does for a person at this point in time. But it's something that I will have a better understanding of as I continue in my journey of health and wellness. One thing that I want to make clear and get on record is that I've never been an individual who's been interested in taking any kind of supplements. I don't take pre-workouts. I don't do performance enhancing drugs. I don't even take creatine, even though it is something that I've considered as of late as something maybe worth taking. But I'm not taking it at this point in time. And I suppose the reason I'm saying this is because as a result of being natural in the most exact way, where the only thing I'm doing is working out, sleeping, and eating correctly, I really do get to pay attention to how my body feels based off of what I'm putting into my body, how my workouts are going, how many hours of sleep I'm getting per day. And it's kind of fun and exciting that way. Whereas on one day, I might have an abundance of energy that I can put towards a workout and have a really powerful workout. And then on another day, based on the fuel that I consumed and the amount of rest that I got, I have less energy to put towards my workout. And seeing that contrast is it's fun for me. It's interesting. It's you gotta have hobbies, as opposed to taking a pre-workout 30 minutes before your workout, and all the energy that you're getting isn't coming from nutrition. It's coming from the whatever shit is in the pre-workout supplement that you're taking. Not that I'm knocking it, it's just I like to know what's happening. I like to know the why, and I like to be able to point to this, and that. Plus it's ego. When it comes down to it, it's ego. I like to say that my body was achieved in the most natural way possible, and nobody can take that away from me. Still a work in progress, though. Still a work in progress. The other day I was at a social work event, and I was speaking to a vendor, and he was commenting on my physique. I get comments on my physique all the time. Gonna call you back, my lady. But yeah, I get comments on my physique all the time, which is interesting to me because when I look in the mirror, I see something worth liking, but I see an unfinished product. So I find it, yeah, just curious to when I get compliments and I get questions about like, oh, are you competing? Oh, I can tell that you're into this thing. And it's like, yeah, you're right. I suppose a person could look at me and think these things, and they do, and they say it, and they acknowledge that this is obviously a passion of mine. But it's such a, I don't know, I'm a perfectionist. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being a perfectionist when it comes to things that you want to excel at. I think it's better to be a perfectionist than to not try at all. Yeah. But overall, I am liking this cut. I think this is like, I've lost count at this point as to how many times I've gone through this cutting process. But I feel confident. I feel like this will be the time where I finally succeed at hitting my 5%. I know I've said it so many times in the past, but this feels like the time. I feel like I'm going on a slow descent downwards, retaining the muscle, losing the weight, and just overall trying to kill it. Another thing that I've been thinking about is the efficiency of my workouts. I've noticed that I get so excited for my workouts these days, specifically leg day. There's this thing that I've been thinking about for a very long time. I used to wrestle, and I wrestled from 6th grade all the way to freshman year. So 6th, 7th, 8th, and ninth. And I remember when I first got to high school, wrestling practice, training camp had started a couple weeks before school started. So during the summer, going into freshman year. And I didn't know about it because I was a freshman and nobody told me that wrestling camp had already started. So by the time school started in September, these wrestlers had already been going to training for 2 weeks. And I remember they were telling me about how like that first 2 weeks of training camp or wrestling practice was so brutal, and that there were kids throwing up, and they would make them run around in circles in the wrecking room, or the rec room. They would make them run around in circles in the rec room for like literally until they dropping like flies. And the stories to me were like horror stories, just hearing them and imagining the pain and the agony that these kids are describing. And it intimidated me. I've never liked the sensation of throwing up. So to hear these kids talk about how like so many of them were throwing up and passing out and fainting and just having a horrible time during summer, I was so grateful that I didn't know that wrestling had started, and that by the time I had gotten into it that year, it was a less intense workout. Long story short, I mention this because my freshman year was the last year that I wrestled, and I skipped sophomore year because I had the awareness of the 2 weeks before school starting, that training camp, and I didn't want to do it. And instead, since my father wasn't making me do it, I avoided it, and I got into acting instead. And to this fucking day, I have recurring dreams about going back to high school or going back to college level and wrestling, because I recognize that as an opportunity that I passed up on to challenge myself and to see what I was physically and mentally capable of. with that being said, leg day has become that substitute. Leg day to me is now being offered as that opportunity to see what I'm physically and mentally capable of. And there is it's a higher value than I ever imagined that comes along with leg day. Before, I used to hate leg day. I used to hate it because it's my weakest body part, and the pain associated with doing squats, high volume squats like Tom Platz. Tom Platz is a huge inspiration of mine when it comes to leg day. And no, I am not anywhere near his level of drive, determination, perseverance. He still stands as an inspiration for what an individual can achieve when he sets his mind and embraces the pain and discomfort of kicking ass. So, yes, it's a work in progress, but it is a beautiful work in progress. And each leg day, I am determined to make better than the last one, to become stronger, to achieve hypertrophy, and to hurt, to kill myself a little. Yeah, that's becoming a new passion of mine. So it's like a passion within a passion, probably within another passion. And this is my fuel for getting up out of bed every day. It's beautiful. Honestly, I don't think I could ask for anything more. All of this comes down to chasing things that don't require any kind of reward that you can't give yourself. Damn. I think I'll just leave it at that. Fuck the outside world. Fuck external value. The reward is the achievement that you yourself can commit yourself to accomplishing. And with that being said, I'm going to reflect on that myself. Alright, I'm fucking hype. See when I'm fucking lighter, right? Like and subscribe, all that good stuff.